Welcome back to Times Square. It's That Kevin Show, thatkevinshow.com. Don't forget to register for this week's ability to win a That Kevin Show mug with the American 250 logo. It's a collector's item. You want to do that. thatkevinshow@gmail.com. In the subject line, just put mug, or go to thatkevinshow.com and just register on the promotions page. Either way, we're going to draw a new winner on Friday. Kenneth Douglas was our winner last week from South Pasadena, California, and we are eager to give another one away this coming Friday. Last week, the Southern Poverty Law Center finally had what some of us who have been slandered by them in the past thought was a bit of justice sent their way. But sadly, a lot of companies are still rather intimidated by this group, and Heritage Foundation is actually trying to raise awareness about what can be done about it. Alan Mendenhall is the PhD research fellow for the Heritage Foundation with the Thomas Rowe Institute for Economic Policy Studies, and he's a senior advisor for the Free Enterprise Initiative, which has a lot to do with this. Alan, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming back. Were you surprised at what we discovered about the SPLC last week?
I'm not surprised at all. So, Kevin, you may not know this, but I live in Alabama. So my office is in D.C. I'm calling in here from D.C., but I live in Alabama, so I'm up in D.C. about every other week. But the Southern Poverty Law Center is right in my backyard in Montgomery. And interesting story, in 2015, at the 50th anniversary of the Selma to Montgomery March, I was working at the Alabama Supreme Court as a staff attorney for the Chief Justice. And so I walked down onto Dexter Avenue to watch these marchers, and it was very moving until the specific moment when it wasn't. I saw this man sitting in a lawn chair wearing this militaristic outfit with badges and insignia on it. I don't really know what to describe it other than probably KKK-adjacent costume. And cameras were everywhere on this man, taking pictures. And I was standing next to this black lady, and she looked at me and she said something to the effect of, I know, this is no big deal. The Southern Poverty Law Center is just paying this guy to sit here to make Alabama look bad. And I thought, well, that's weird. It had never occurred to me. And I don't know whether that was true or not. I don't know whether that was the case. But it always stuck with me. And that's over a decade ago. And when I see allegations like the ones in this indictment, I think there probably was something to that. And so I'm not really surprised by this. But I'm actually surprised that it's taken so long. For people that are a little uninitiated,
describe what the indictment actually accuses them of.
Yeah, it accuses them. There are counts of wire fraud. There are counts of different fraud. There are counts of defrauding charitable organizations, lying to banks, those kinds of things. I sort of look at this as the potential beginnings of a RICO investigation. So right now, these charges are against the Southern Poverty Law Center, an entity, and not against any individuals. But it sure looks to me as like the beginnings of an investigation. And if it were RICO charges, these racketeering charges, then you'd see individuals going to jail. There is a very tight Alabama Attorney General's race going on. The primary is May 19th. And I would like to see the two Republicans that are neck and neck right now starting to talk about what state charges they may bring against the Southern Poverty Law Center, because I can guarantee you there's theft by deception, charitable fraud, unlawful solicitation, money laundering potential, and all of the charges that you see from the federal. If the state starts looking into it, there may be state charges that could be brought against the SPLC as well.
Well, for those of you watching and listening in Alabama, get Alan's agenda on the docket there and press these candidates on that issue, because Alan, this has been an organization that has been very, depending on who you talk to, they have very different facing faces, if you will, to the public. So they kind of made their bones on saying, off the legacy of Dr. King, we're gonna make the South, free of prejudice, and we're going to try to make racial equality a thing, and we're going to try to do all this. But almost immediately from their inception, they began to go after people that were their ideological opposites, and they just became worse and worse over the years. I've been attacked by them. I know a number of people that have been attacked by them over the years. And then to find out that while they ridicule those of us that have actually spoken on behalf of common sense and justice, true justice for people of all races, that they are actually funding the very people that they're supposedly created to fight against, it was just a little surreal going, okay, this is kind of like Al Gore making up global warming so he could sell carbon tax credits. I mean, it's a self-perpetuating cycle of a problem that I guess they made a lot of money off of persisting with.
Yeah, I mean, if your entire business model is predicated on the spread of hate, and there's not as much hate the way there used to be. I mean, there were some genuine hateful moments in American history that were really bad. But what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing is cheapening those real experiences with a sort of manufactured hyper reality. So they are policing the very hate that they are creating, and that is very problematic. This would be like the glazier paying somebody to go break glass windows so that they could replace it, or the security system company hiring burglars to go break into places so that they have a business, or some like private fire department paying an arsonist to go light fires so they could put them out. But, you know, the fact of the matter is America has improved. We're a better people. We don't have this sort of systemic racism that maybe existed during the civil rights era. But the Southern Poverty Law Center, because its business model is predicated on that America, it has to create the impression that that America is still with us everywhere and that everybody is in danger of constant racial violence, which just simply is not the case.
Well, and what makes it truly disingenuous and horrible is that you do have more slavery on planet Earth right now than we've ever had in human history. And instead of talking about Sudan and Southeast Asia and places where sex trafficking and human slaves and chattel slavery is practiced, we are making up boogeymen, dividing Americans, and saying that everything has to be looked at here in a different way, with everything from reparations to everything else. And I think part of the problem for these people with the Trump administration is that he just kind of puts everything on its ear. And so when you have, you know, the people that have served in his cabinet, when you see him welcoming African-American youth to the White House in ways that no other president ever has, and giving them tours and talking about their potential to be public policy impactors and so forth like that. I mean, it's just the old narratives, though they have taken a very long time to die, are dying hard. And even on the voter integrity legislation and so forth, the Save America Act, people are still trying to trot out this idea that black and brown people are somehow not smart enough to be able to get IDs when they have IDs for everything under the sun. And I just think these old tropes have long run their course, and now it's time to get down to the real business of fixing our nation. Speaking of which, the Free Enterprise Initiative that you guys are doing at Heritage actually helps companies that have been impacted by the SPLC kind of know the facts and kind of get free from that. How does it work?
Yeah, so we filed 26 shareholder proposals this season, and some of those, not all of those, were related to the SPLC. We have withdrawn 13 because the companies either satisfied what we were looking for or agreed not to do what it was they were doing before. But some of these were using the Southern Poverty Law Center's diagnostic tools, including its hate map, Meta, Salesforce, and MasterCard, very quickly and immediately combed through all their policies, all their practices, and said, you know, we're going to make sure that we're not using the Southern Poverty Law Center.